You've been fooled. You've been duped. Which characters butter your mouth? No, they're evil. What's this one doing? First of all, first things up first. Can we get into this look? I mean, the hair, the eyeshadow. I mean, she's giving you model. I said. Hi, welcome back. If this is your first time, my name is Ayomide and this channel is called Midnight. But if you clicked on this video, then you already know that. I would suggest you go watch my first video, which I'll link up here, just so you can get to know a little bit more about me and you're not like confused, you're not like, who's this girl? But then again, you might not care about any of that and you might have only clicked on this video to hear me talk about K-dramas. So do you guys remember this? I think I'm gonna have to do a whole video on how they've enhanced my life and why, if you haven't started, you should watch a K-drama right now. That's what we're gonna be talking about today. A better name for this video might be what K-dramas have taught me. And maybe my current time was a bit clickbaity, but I hope some of it makes sense to you. And if something doesn't make sense, obviously mention in the comments, we can talk about it. I'll do my best to unconfuse you or confuse you even more. Sorry in advance. So without further ado, let's get into it. I don't think it looks like I'm looking at you guys throughout the entire video, and I can't film it again, so I'm really sorry. I can't help but look at myself instead of looking at the camera. I guess, I was just so taken aback by my beauty. Like I said, I'm really sorry. Back to the video. The first thing on this list that I've learned is that heartbreak is okay and eventually bearable because it means you've loved. I like to look at it this way. Being heartbroken can feel like the worst thing in the world, right? So when we experience it, we can become closed off or more cautious when entering into a new relationship, and I'm talking non-romantic as well as romantic. So when we're heading into a new relationship, we find ourselves asking, well, what if I get my heart broken? If we answer that way, well, then it means you truly love that person with all of your heart. And when has that ever been wrong? If we can answer that question with that, then it might be easier. We might be more open to love and even experience the best relationships of our lives. I know it can be hard to have this view when you're in the depths of heartbreak, but I have faith in you and just take it as food for thought. Speaking of food, in a K-drama, that's love. Listen, beloved, if you watch a K-drama and there is not at least one scene centering on food, it's not a K-drama. You've been fooled, you've been duped. It's not a K-drama. Sorry. Okay, to put this into perspective, I have watched 21 K-dramas in the last 6 months, and after thoroughly searching my memory and going through a list of the ones that I have watched, there's only about 2, maybe 3, that do not have a scene that centers on food. There's always exceptions, but what I'm saying is the way K-dramas present food should be its own art form. I'm talking the finesse that goes into making the food, the art of consuming the food, the ceremony that surrounds food, the communal aspects of food is obviously a big part of the culture. If someone puts a morsel of food on your plate or your cutlery of choice and you're having a meal with loads of other people, if they see that happen, they're gonna know that that person loves or cares about you in some way. Everyone's gonna be looking like, what's going on here? Oh, we see you, do you know what I mean? So when I say it's love, I mean it's love. I think the relationship between food, how it can make us feel, and the sense of community around that is articulated so well in K-dramas. We all know people who cooking and feeding the ones that you love is a love language. I just feel like K-dramas take it to another level. So food is a conduit for love. Weird is the way forward. Literally everyone has a place in this world. So be as weird as you want to be as weird as you can, and you will find your tribe. That's it. I want to say that some of these things, like, I already knew, already heard, I've already learned, but it's just that when I saw them embodied in K-dramas, it just resonated a bit more. I don't know if it's because of the headspace I was in when I started watching K-dramas, or the headspace that, you know, I was personally creating for myself with things like meditation, but it just permeated in a way that it hadn't before, and I could see myself actually like putting them in action in my life, because I don't think anything that I'm actually saying is like new or fresh. You never know, but I think it's just the fact that watching all these series brought me to this. That's what I learned, and basically just gave me so much joy, a joy that I hadn't yet experienced. Wow, when I said I stan K-dramas, this is what I mean. I stan K-dramas. Some K-dramas can be really camp, just like odd, and some of like the weird and odd stuff that the characters, I'm like, wait, am I supposed to accept this as normal behavior? Okay, I see. Okay, cool. And I know sometimes maybe I find it all the way because of cultural differences, but usually it's things that I can see someone in the West doing too, and it more often than not always makes me laugh. So it just reminds me that life is weird, life is varied, and sometimes it just doesn't make any sense. Did you see 2020? Maybe it's a weird link, and maybe I'm not making any sense when I say it, but the campness that exists in K-dramas and the oddness of some characters just reminds me of the infinite levels of joy that we are capable of experiencing in this life, especially joy from the little things. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm sure you know what I mean. This is something that I learned, something that has made me look at certain people differently. People will really and truly lie to themselves or convince themselves of whatever BS they need to justify their actions in order to continue living their lives as if they're blind, as if they can't see the less than palatable actions. No, the evil, because that's what it is, the evil that they've done. As in, they know that what they're doing is wrong, or greed, or some other deep-seated pain. Because I have to acknowledge that is the case with some people. Some other deep-seated pain will make them just ignore it and just push it aside and just continue living their lives, or pretend as if they're okay with it, because depending on the kind of person they are, that they just, they John Cena bitch. I'm looking at you, Sky Castle. The show is brilliant, but it played with my head and it played with my heart. I was feeling things that I didn't know I was capable of feeling for a show. At the end of one episode, I got up and then crumbled to the floor straight after. K-drama style, if you know, you know. I remember feeling so... The feelings I had were so visceral, were so real, that I had to record a voice memo right afterwards just so I could like catch the feelings. So Sky Castle was going to be a conversation for another time, maybe another video. But I will say this, there's a poignant, this is what I get for having a vocabulary with big words. There's a poignant quote in the drama that says, they say that humans are not rational beings and that they only tend to rationalize things. That's kind of it's kind of true. And honestly, I can't think of a saying that more accurately describes the entirety of Sky Castle. And it's so ironic which character's gutty mouth it comes out of. They have taught me to have more compassion or hold more space for characters that seem one way turn out to be another for whatever reason. Usually it's because of an unknown, deeply rooted wound that makes them act that kind of way or whatever. And what's funny is that there have been so many times in a K-drama where I'm looking at one character with the side eye like, I really don't like you, you are so annoying, what the hell, or you're bad, you're evil, you're messy, you're dodgy. And then they do a whole 360, 180, 360, which one's the right? Because like if it's a 360, then they just come back to where they are. Where if they do a 180, they like 180. Where they do a whole 180 and they're completely different. Or something will happen, something gets revealed, I'm like, oh, so that's why you did that. Or they'll do something that seems bad and then a couple episodes later we're like, you actually did that for the good of this show or for the good of, you know, the protagonist or whatever. At the start of one season you may feel a certain way about one character and usually by the end of the season you feel a completely different way, right? Because things unfold, we start feeling different things for them. I'm really going on a tangent now. But what I'm trying to say is, it's happened to me enough times now that when I watch any show and a character's one way, I reserve judgment as best as I can. Because sometimes I'm like, what's this one doing? I'm like, oh wait, you never know, it might surprise you. And also in my real life, I wouldn't say I am a judgmental person in general anyway, but seeing things like that in K-dramas and in other TV shows has taught me to be less judgmental of people, to be more forgiving of people, to be more understanding, but also to know when I'm being taken for an idiot, or better yet, to not let myself be taken for an idiot. I can be non-judgmental and forgiving, but still know when someone needs to go. I hope, if you haven't already, I've encouraged you to start watching a K-drama, or just maybe even something that isn't in the language that you speak. That's it from me. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you got to the end. You're a real one. Please don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe if you want. Don't do anything you don't want to. And I'll see you on the flip side, man.